Love is a conglomeration of attitudes, feelings. I mean, there's just so much that's part of it.
It's a loaded question.
It's almost impossible to define.
Yeah.
Make sure you marry the right spouse.
Now, I want y'all to understand something, man. When you hear someone with this type of experience say this, let's look at the particulars of what he said. They do everything together. They consider each other in everything they do. I tell y'all this all the time. If you have a woman and you lie to her and cheat on her, why are you with that woman?
Tell us the truth!
I was in a grocery store once and I was walking in, man, and I saw this couple. They looked to be in their late 60s, early 70s. I mean, in pretty good shape, man. White couple. And they walked into the store holding hands. When I parked, I was walking in behind them. They were holding hands. When they got into the store, I saw something that was very interesting. The man was going over to the produce section. The woman was walking over to another section. So they were splitting, they were parting ways like a fork in the road. And before they did, they gave each other a goodbye kiss. Now, I saw that and I asked the man, I said, listen, I just saw how you interact with your wife right there. You know, assuming that is your wife. He said, yeah, of course. You know, why wouldn't she be? I said, yeah, I thought so. I said, so how do you get to this point? How long have y'all been married? He said, we've been married 50 years. I said, well, how do y'all get to this point where y'all still doing the same things that y'all did, holding hands and kissing each other goodbye and all of that? He said, man, you saw all of that? I said, yeah, man, I was walking in right behind y'all. And he said, you know what? It just never feels like we have enough time in the day to enjoy each other. Like it never feels like we have enough time in the day. So everything we do, we really enjoy doing it together. Now we can't do everything together because I have things I have to go do. She has things she has to do. But now at this age, we can do everything together, but it has always been that way. But that's it. Like I love having this woman around me every day. And as you can tell, she loves having me around her every day as well. And I thought about that, man. And I thought about how the majority of people who are married out here today can't wait to get away from their spouse. Think about how many women go on girls' trips. You know, if you go on a girls' trip, you can't wait to get away from your husband. Think about it. Now guys be going on guys' trips. You know, if you get with your guys, y'all go on a guys' trip or y'all go to the strip club or any of that, man, you know, you can't wait to get away from your wife and go be around some other women. See, it's not just getting away, it's getting away and going to be around other women. And that's one example that I know of a couple who got it right. Now, there are couples who meet older like that and they already been married a couple of times or this or that. And, you know, it's a financial thing or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a couple that did it and stuck together for all that time. In this video, we're going to listen to a billionaire. He and his wife have been married for, 68 years. I want you to think about it. They've been married for 68 years. And he's going to talk about the importance and stress the significance of choosing the right woman. And he's also going to talk about the detriment of choosing the wrong woman. But let's get into this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
It's the most important decision you're going to make in your life. What do you think it is?
Who you marry?
The spouse. The most important decision you make in your entire life is the spouse. Because the wrong one is a disaster. The right one is fantastic. Now, I've had the right one for 68 years. Everything we've done together as a team. It's been wonderful.
So you've been together since you were my age. I'm 25.
Yes.
Can you define the word love?
With great difficulty. The feeling you have for each other. The respect. The positive attitude you carry to each other. Being there for each other without any equivocation whatsoever. There's never an issue. Should I, shouldn't I? If it's something that is important for the family or important to your spouse, you do it. Simple. Love is a conglomeration of attitudes, feelings. I mean, there's just so much that's part of it.
It's a loaded question.
It's almost impossible to define.
Yeah.
Make sure you marry the right spouse.
Now, I want y'all to understand something, man. When you hear someone with this type of experience say this, let's look at the particulars of what he said. They do everything together. They consider each other in everything they do. I tell y'all this all the time. If you have a woman and you lie to her and cheat on her, why are you with that woman? Why are you with that woman? If she's not the woman that you can't not do all of that stuff with, she's not the woman that you need to be with. Women, it's the same thing. If you have a man that you can't respect, that ain't the man you supposed to be with. And it's up to both of y'all to be adults and understand that this is how that's supposed to look. People be talking about arguing and all of that. That's how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. There ain't supposed to be no arguing and fussing and going back and forth and all of that foolishness, man. It's not supposed to be that. Now, it helps that you get your money together. And so we know he's a billionaire. Now we don't know if he's been a billionaire his whole life. Probably not. He probably wasn't a billionaire at 25, but he probably was plugged into the money. But here's the thing. Bill Gates was plugged into the money. Well, Bill Gates made the money. Bill Gates made the money. He was a billionaire, divorced. Jeff Bezos, he was a billionaire, divorced. So let's not sit and act like just because you're a billionaire, you got the money, it ain't gonna happen. Bob Johnson, divorced. So let's not sit and act like it's just the money. And I know some of y'all gonna say that, but y'all just making it up because y'all didn't have the wherewithal to understand the type of person you need to be with. Man, you got to be with somebody, man, that just is that person for you. And here's the problem with that. People say, well, there ain't no one person. Yeah, there is. But you be compromising too much. Think about all the things you compromise because you tell yourself this impossible. Okay, well, if it's impossible, you still don't go be with somebody who don't have those qualities just because you don't think they exist. You stick to your standard. And I think that's the problem with all of this. People aren't sticking to their standard. And when you come from a certain environment, you don't have a standard. If you're in the hood, you don't even have a standard. Your standard is based on arousal. That's not a standard. That don't have anything to do with nothing, especially for when it comes to you as a man, you got to worry more about a woman's content of character than you worry about anything else. So when we talk about this body count thing, we talk about that because it changes a woman's content of character. It makes her someone else. Another thing he said was some things you just do. If you know it matters to your woman, you just do it. If she knows it matters to you, she just does it. There are certain things here's the thing, man. There are certain things that don't even matter to you like that. But if you got to think about game and all of that, and you got to be worrying about how, well, I can't do this for her right here. She might think this about me right here. Bro, you in too serious of a situation. We talking about game. Then you guys who be talking about open marriage, y'all are the absolute worst. You have decided that you just gonna accept the woman that don't want to be with you and act like you don't want to be with her either. So you tell yourself, I want this as my woman right here, but since she want to be with other people, I'm just going to enjoy myself too. Otherwise, what's the purpose in getting married? If you're in a legal marriage and it's open, let's have a moment of silence for not only your manhood and masculinity, but let's have a moment of silence for your damn common sense. All right, rest in peace to you. I want y'all to understand, brothers. And you may say that, well, this is a man. He's a Caucasian man. He got all of this money. It don't apply to us. Okay, well, let's listen to this sister who studies these things and pulls up the statistics for it. Let's listen to her say the exact same thing. Now, the example that we're going to see, it leaves a lot to be questioned, but let's take a listen.
Actually, a case study, and it was posted on the Journal of Psychology, and they had a pool of couples. What they realized with the pool of couples that your net worth will increase by 77% simply by learning and investing in the process of supporting each other. So what did that look like? So the couples that said, what is it that you need from me? I got your back, and I supply that for you, and vice versa. Net worth increased by 77% simply by making a decision of supporting one another. And that's an individual.
Now I want y'all to understand something. That's exactly what the guy was saying. Supporting one another. If you have a woman in your life that you don't even want to be happy, that you don't even want to enjoy being married to you, that you don't even want to know that, that she looks at this situation as her fantasy world, as her fairy tale, bro, what are you doing? Now, I'm not saying just let the woman come in and don't do nothing, but that's why you got to have someone that fits into your life. I tell you, men, all the time, if there's a spot in your life for a wife, make sure you get a woman who fits that spot. It's like if you need a woman that can cook, why would you get a woman who can't cook? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things. Like, if you need a woman that does this, why would you get a woman who doesn't? It's the same thing with a woman. If you need a man who does this, why would you have a man who doesn't? All of these things are things that are really simple, but we overlook them because we're too busy picking who we want to be with by how aroused they make us. Let me tell you something, brothers, and I want y'all to understand something. If you meet a woman who has all of those other things, all of those qualities and characteristics that you want, you will find out that no woman has ever aroused you more than her. Ever. And the same thing for you women as well.
Visual network. So imagine together. And then there's numerous studies after that claim the same thing. If you support each other, your net worth increases. And I mean, you guys are a perfect example of that, right?
I was in the military and she was a full-time college student. So she had a part-time job. I had a full-time job and a side hustle. As soon as we got married, our net worth literally increased because the military, I was making $2,000 a month, then it went to $4,000 a month. Plus, I was making another $3,000 barbering. So instantly, as soon as we got married, I'm making $7K a month right off the bat. And she was bringing in about 1.5. So I told her all money in, so your money can go to paying the bills, and this other money that I use is going to be all investments. So I'm throwing in about 4 to 6K a month. So got married in June. By August, it's a steady 8K a month. By December, I got like 20K saved up.
Now, I want y'all to understand something. When you hear this young man doing this money, you may say, man, that's not a lot of increase. You already were making, if he already was making what, 3,000 from barbering, and he was getting 2,000. He was already making 5,000. But I want y'all to understand something. Just by her coming in, the military gave him another 2. And then she was making 15. So that's 3,500. That's really 8,500. So he went from making 5,000 to 8,500 immediately. Now you may say, but he added on the expense of her. She was already living off her own money. She was a college student. So it doesn't matter what he was living off. You see how he said, I told her all money in. What happened? She was like, okay, all money in. So all money came into the household through him. He took control of the financial situation. She was cool with that because he was in a better financial position. And look how their situation worked and flourished. They're a young couple making 8K a month and having 20,000 saved. He ain't say nothing about the investments. He just said he got 20,000 saved and making 8K a month. Man, that's good for a young couple, man, just starting off. You know what I'm saying? He went from making 2,000 in the military and not having nothing saved to making 8,000 a month and having 20,000 saved plus his investments. You see how quick that turnaround is? Because he had a woman who was dedicated to the process of his progress. See, when I say the process of my progress, it would sound like I don't want the woman to progress. But if she's my wife, then she is a part of me. My progress is her progress. The problem is y'all be getting in these situations with these women who want their own progress. She want to get into a marriage with you and then go pursue her own endeavors. Man, that's not a marriage. That's a partnership. Man, don't nobody want no partnership. Partnerships do not sustain long term because they're not based on the right things.